And with each breath, let's just put with our pencil a dot, breathing in and out. Let's put a dot in each corner of our tile. Or you can just pick an area on your piece of paper or your sketchbook. And now I'm just going to scroll down to see who else. Hello, Paula. Hello, Lynn. Yay. And hi from Diane and Lynn. Okay, great. So now let's draw our border. This is typical basic Zentangle technique. So we just kind of create a border. Doesn't matter what it looks like. We're doing this in pencil. If you have a pen and not a pencil, that's okay. No big deal. And turn your tile and just very slowly relax. Draw that border. Doesn't matter what it looks like. It's going to disappear anyways. Just gives us a foundation. Breathing in and out. Okay. Now, what we're going to do now is let's draw a string. And let's see, I have 3 patterns I'm going to show you today. So I'm going to ask you you can draw a string any way you like. So I'm going to draw a line, it's kind of wavy from corner to corner, but you don't have to do that. Divide your tile into 3 sections any way you like to do that. I'm just going to do that for now. And when you're ready, you can put down your pencil and pick up your pen. So I'm using this black 01 pen. Any black pen will do, whatever you have is fine. You can even use a pencil for the whole thing, doesn't matter. So if you've just come in, hi Deb, please do say hello so we know that you're here, and this helps everybody stay connected, and that's the only way we know that you're on with us. So we'd love to know if you're with us. Just say hello in the comment section or write anything you'd like. All right, so we're going to start off with kind of an easy pattern. Let's start off, I'm going to do it right here. I'm going to actually turn my tile and I'm going to draw a line almost like I'm going to draw a figure 8. I'm starting to draw a figure 8. I come around and I'm going to zoom in here. Okay. And when I come around, I'm going to draw something that looks like a heart. And you can just watch for now because I will show you again. Then I'm going to come around like this and draw another heart. And then I'm coming through that intersection in that center and I'm continuing on as if I'm drawing a figure 8. All right, now I'm going to show you again a little bit slower. That one's kind of floppy, but everything happens the way it's supposed to. I'm going to do another one from here. So I'm going to come out almost like I'm going to draw a figure 8. I do this little heart shape. I continue on as if I'm going to do that figure 8 or infinity sign, another heart, and then I come around here and then to that center. So it really doesn't matter which direction you go in, and it doesn't matter what size they are. So I'm going to zoom out a little bit more. And you can keep doing this on a vine, or you can just come out. It's a fun pattern. Now I did post on the Facebook page, if you want to refer to it, the step outs of what we're doing today. I usually do that afterwards because I don't want you to focus too much on the outcome, but in case you want to refer to it either during class or after class. Now, just because I'm doing it this way doesn't mean you have to do it this way. If there's another way you like to do this pattern, it's perfectly fine. We're all going to be doing it a little bit differently anyways. And it really doesn't matter which side I go to. But I love the flow. Now remember, your pen only needs a light touch. Light touch, don't press down too hard. Relax, go nice and slow. Do not go as fast as I'm going. I go fast kind of to show you. Also, I just go too fast, so I need to slow down too. And then I'm gonna come out. Remember, anything goes in Zentangle. Anything goes. There's no right or wrong. The purpose of Zentangle is not to get the pattern correct. It's to slow down and focus on each stroke. Relaxing and getting that meditation effect. So just keep doing this pattern for a few minutes. And as you're doing that, I will look up if you have a question. You're welcome to ask a question. Say hello. Hello, Darlene, Nancy, Patricia. Patrice. Oh, nice. Nice to see you. Oh, you have no idea how excited I get when I see all these names. And other people might be thinking too, hey, I didn't know you were on this. You know, you might see people you know or meet. Now, and please let me know if the volume sounds okay, if the lighting is okay. Just feel free to let me know that. So let's breathe in and out as we draw this pattern. And if you've joined us a little late, please do say hello so we know you're here. So this can be a border type pattern. You can go off and do other things. The name of this pattern is Lookie Line. And again, I did post it on the Facebook page, but I'll show you here. And then you can, and it's by Mary Massey. So if you Google Lookie Line, you can see different variations and step outs and things like that. It is on tanglepatterns.com. And a couple variations I'll show you, which is also on the step out, is you can draw like a little line there, and a little like where they all intersect. That's one variation. You can draw little dots. You can give it some weight or kind of a thicker outline. And you can think of something else. Or you can leave it as is. So that's a nice pattern to have some fun with. So let's take another minute, nice and slow. Breathing, relaxed. Okay, so we're going to move on to another pattern now. The third pattern we're going to do is going to take a lot of time, maybe. So I'm kind of getting through some kind of quick ones right now, and then we'll spend some time on the other one. So I'm going to move into this section here, because I want to save my big section for later. Now, we're going to start, and I will zoom in with kind of like this fescue shape. Is that what we call it? I think we call it fescue. So what we're doing is we're drawing this arc shape, and then we give it this little loopy shape on the end. And then we're going to do the same thing. Starting from that bottom, we're going to come up and over, and then do that same loopy shape. Come up and over on the other side. So it's the same exact thing, just a little bigger. Remember, yours will look different than mine. And then we're going to come up. Now what we're going to do now is we're going to just do it on the left side. We're not going to, we've done it 2 times on both sides. The 3rd time we're just going to do it on the left side, and then we're going to give it this little doodad, fanny type shapes there. And then that's it. So what you can do is keep doing this over and over. So now I'm going to start another one, just like I did. You notice these are 2 different. That's just, we don't worry too much about what it looks like. It's all going to be good at the end. Then we come and do another one. Now, once you get the hang of this, of course, you can do as many as you want on each side. But the step out, I believe, showed it like this. And then you've got your fan. And then when you've got, let's see, there's a video on this too, and let me just show you. The name of this pattern is Apicor by Lori Manoujian. And you'll see that when we, so you can see how we kind of overlap it, and then there's some little long fescues here. And then I think the video shows filling in, which I did not do here, but filling in some of these spaces. So there's a good video on that, I believe. But for right now, let's just do this. Turn your tile. Remember, listen to your own intuition. If you feel like you want to do something different with this pattern, you just go do it. Don't ignore that. That's where the true artist comes out. So go nice and slow. Focus on each stroke. Relax. Breathe. And if you've joined us late, please announce yourself by making a comment so we know you're here. It really helps everyone to see who's here. It helps us not feel so isolated. And some of us are feeling more isolated than others. Whether you have family members or spouses, or some people have been going out, some people are working. If you go to the town square, it's hopping. It's hopping. People are line dancing 6 feet apart from each other to the DJ music or radio music. Yep. I was here this morning because Barnes & Noble is open, got my coffee and breakfast, and went over to the picnic tables by Lake Sumter, and they were all full. Best to stay inside away from everybody though. I think it's nice to get out. I think the sun, they say that the virus can't really survive in the sun or the heat. So it's good to get out, get some vitamin D. So here I am talking about this when we're really supposed to, what did I say? We're not going to think about it. So let's go back to just focusing on each stroke, focusing on being in the present moment, focusing on peace and serenity, joy. Everything happens for a reason. We're breathing. We're alive. I'm hoping everybody is healthy who's on the call today. So again, if you've joined us late, please do make a comment just to say hello. We'd love to know if you're here. And if you have a question or a comment, you're welcome to type that in. Thank you, Pam, for letting me know that. Both volume and camera are good. Oh, that's a good thing. Love hearing that. Okay. So we'll just take another minute or two, or less than a minute really, and just work on this pattern a little bit more, and then we'll move on to the main event of today's class. And by the way, I just learned these patterns yesterday. They were in my favorites. I didn't realize they were there. You know how we save things in our favorites and then 3 years later or 30 years later we find them? Well, I was going through my favorites on my internet browser, and these were saved. So I don't remember saving them, but I like them. Oh, you know what? We're going to shade these. All right. Now, if you're not ready to shade, that's okay. You can just watch. And again, you can revisit this video at any time. And there's no right or wrong with shading. You can always follow your own desires and intuition, but I'm going to just shade the one we just did. I'm going to kind of start on the bottom and then just a little bit on the left-hand side of these. I'm really just dabbing just to give it just a little bit. And with shading, we really don't need a lot just to make it really look really pretty and make it really pop. You can just see just a little bit of shading compared to this one, And I'm not going to shade it all, but I'll just do a few. I also like to shade in between, like these little sections where they connect a little bit. So I just put a little bit on the bottom, and then I push up a little bit to get some of those. And I'm using what's left of my tortillon to get some small areas. So that's nice. All right, so that's how you can shade that one if you want. Oh, you know what else? I forgot to show you. I showed you in the step out, but if you want, when you're done, you can put in these little extra fescues. Really makes a nice touch. And she also puts in some by themselves here. So you can decide what you like to do with that. And the shading for Looky Line is very simple. All we do is a little bit right in the middle. Maybe a little circular motion. Take your tortillon. Oh, you know what? We didn't do our tortillon toast. All right, get your tortillon ready. 1, 2, 3, tortillon! Okay, for those of you who have never taken my classes, you have no idea what we just did. For those of you who have taken my classes, you're very happy now because I know you were missing that. Okay. Tortillon. That's our tortillon toast. Just like before you drink, before we use our tortillon, we do our little toast. Okay. So take a moment, admire what you've done, admire what I've done, and just start to feel again in the present moment, feel relaxed, feel calm. Take a nice deep breath in and out. Okay, so now we're going to do the biggie. Okay, so I posted on the Facebook page a copy, just a photo of the latest video that went out from Zentangle.com, Rick Roberts and Maria Thomas, the founders. And many of you probably already seen it. Some of you probably already have done it. And the reason, what we're going to do now is I posted that because you can see the reticula, which is kind of like a pattern that sets the foundation for another pattern or fragment to go into that pattern. And you can watch this video anywhere. I think it's on tanglepatterns.com. I think that's why I put that on there. You can see where you can't click on it to get there, but you can just go to the website. And the reason we're doing this is because Rick drew this reticula with a compass, you know, one of those metal things, and I don't use a compass. So I decided to break it down into a pattern without using the compass. So that's what we're going to do, and then we'll actually do, he called this a tessellation, but we'll actually then put the pattern in. So here's what I'm talking about. Again, I don't usually like to show you ahead of time, but I'm going to because maybe it's confusing what I'm saying. So I'm going to show you how to do this without the compass. It's not exactly what they did, but good enough. And then we're going to put in the pattern paradox, which is what the lesson was, into that. And it's really cool and fun, and I'm going to show you how to do that. Okay? So now this new pattern is called Compass by Jacki Rose, because it's the alternative to using the compass to create the pattern that he did. So here's the first step. I'm going to zoom in. The first thing we're going to do is draw these little arcs, but we're going to keep going like this, breathing in and out nice and slow. And we're just going to do one line of those. Doesn't matter how many. You can do 3, you can do 10. Doesn't matter. That's the first step. The second step now see where this little point is? You're going to come down to the left, and from that same point to the right. So it's kind of an arc shape coming down. Now, here's where it gets interesting. We're going to do the same thing here, but when we do this, it's the same thing we did here. When we do that, we're going to touch the previous one. So it's almost like a rounded triangle, and then we're going to do this again. So when you do this, you might want to shoot for like the middle area, and then we come down. And again, there's no perfection in Zentangle, does not matter. We're going to do that again. Breathing in and out. And then I'm going to finish this row, and then I'll show you how to do the next row. So you notice here, the end, I'm still going to close it like that. Okay. And over here, I'll even close it like that. For the next part, we're going to do the exact same thing, except, we're going to do these arcs, but we're going to do them here. So we're going to give this an arc. So these TP shapes, that's going to get those arcs. Same thing we did up here. And then we're going to do the same exact thing we did here, but we need to know where. So it's going to be right at that point, because right where that point would be right here. Arc to the right, or to the left, arc to the right. Same thing. So again, it's not exactly like the compass that Rick's does, because there's a big part missing when we do this, but it's very close to the tangling, the part that he does, the tessellation or the paradox. It's very, to me, it's very close. So, okay. And so here you can see when I got to the edge, I kind of went, kind of finishing that off, adding that. Doesn't really matter. So let's continue with this part for a little bit, and then I will show you what we're going to do with it. Now, this alone can be a pattern. It is a pattern. And again, a reticula is an actual Zentangle pattern that acts as a, maybe like a string or a foundation for another pattern to go in. Some of you have the book. I sell them at my classes. You can also get them online, of reticula and fragments. Remember, if you make a mistake, you really didn't. There's no such thing. I decided to call it a variation because I made a mistake earlier. I'll show you on here when I was doing the step out. This is kind of a mistake, but I call it a variation because look how cute it is. So no more mistakes. There are no mistakes. They're just variations. Opportunity for other possibilities. That's oops. Okay. Remembering to breathe, slow down, relax. We're still working on this. Hi, Sherry. Oh, I'm so glad you came. And if anybody else is here who hasn't said hello yet, please do. We'd love to know that you're here. And when I know people come, that means this works. And I'll keep doing it if people are showing up. But I don't know if you're there unless you say hello or say something like, I love this, Jackie. So I love hearing that. So, all right. Remember, we're relaxed. It's okay to have nice soft music on in the background, but no heavy metal, not during this class. All right, what am I doing? So another thing I'll point out is if you've been doing Zentangle for a little while, you might know the mirror technique. Not mirror, alternating. So if you, like I was just trying to figure out which way do I go, but I know that it's kind of, that was there, and then you see how it kind of alternates by row. So this here would not be the same, it would be like that. That might have confused some of you, but if it's confusing, ignore it. It's not important. Remembering to breathe, relax, go nice and slow, let go of the outcome. Yours will look very different than mine. Everyone's will look different, and I would love it if later on when you finish your tile, please post in the comments. I'll create a section, maybe under the video recording, but I'll create something, and then so you can, everyone can post your picture of your tile when you're done, or whatever you, doesn't have to be a tile, but, and let's see what I just did. No, that's not good. I can't talk and tangle at the same time. Let me think. Oh, there we go. Yeah, see, I just did that. I went the wrong way. And again, it doesn't matter. Won't show up later. But if you all post a copy of your tile, then we can see what everyone did. Because in all of my classes, and that's in all Zentangle classes all over the world, at the end of class, we make a mosaic and we put all of our tiles together and to see what everyone has done. And I love seeing what you all create. And I can steal your ideas. So we're going to be quiet now just for a few seconds. Go nice and slow. Okay. So alone, this pattern doesn't look so lovely. It can, it might. Maybe some of you, the way you've done it, I'm sure it looks awesome. I know some of you out there, whatever you draw looks amazing. So here's what we're going to do now inside of each one. And this is just one thing. And I'm going to put together a variation of all the different things we can do with this. And I'll show you a couple I came up with already. I'll show you later. Okay. But what we're doing now is that Rick Roberts paradox tessellation video that went out recently, and that's to do paradox in here. Now I'm going to show you, some of you might already know it, but some of you don't. Some of you are very new to Zentangle. So, and the step out is on the Facebook page. I posted it right before class. So I'm going to draw a triangle for right now. And so I'm showing you, if you want to take out some scratch paper and do this with me, I'm going to show you the pattern nice and big here, and then I'll show you it on the tile. So we're going to start tracing kind of along the line, and then we're going to start to come out and hit the next line. So this is called take off and land technique in Zentangle. And then you can turn your tile and do the same thing. Trace along and then come out and hit the next line. Now if you want, you can keep turning your tile. Instead of drawing the way I just did, you can just come down this way. Because I think instead of going up that way, and just keep turning your tile. So you hit that line, and then you start from the corner. So what I can do is I can turn my tile, and I come down that corner, and now I'm coming off. Am I doing this right? I've only practiced it a million times. Come for the corner, hit the line. Then after a while, you don't have to trace against that if you don't want to. So think coming from that corner, giving that an aura, and then landing on that next line. So you can either trace along or just come out. I really like tracing along that last line and then coming out. Doesn't matter where you come out, just kind of just practice that a few times. You don't have to trace along that line. You can just give it an aura, land on that next line, giving that an aura, landing on that next line. Remember, if there's anything you can't get, don't worry about it. There's different ways to do this pattern too. So just do whatever you can do today. So now I'm going to go here. It's a little bit of a rounder triangle. So I'm going to just kind of start in this corner, trace along, land there. I'm going to trace along, land there. I'm going to trace along, land there. Breathing in and out. Now other things you can do if you don't want to do this shape, if you're having a difficult time with this pattern, you can just aura the inside. And auraing is just doing the same exact thing. I'm not doing it right now. I'm actually doing the paradox, but I will show you. So if I were to just do an aura, I could maybe just do an aura on each side. You could also, so you could just aura the lines, just tracing above them any way you want. So that's another way to do it. You could also give it a little spiral inside. Just do a spiral. So there's other things you can do with this. Now, we're going to keep doing this. And so what Rick is calling this a tessellation. A tessellation, as I understand it, and Patty, correct me if I'm wrong, or any of you other advanced Zentangle people out there, is a tessellation is a pattern that creates different shapes on its own. So once this is done, you will see it turns into, you'll see different types of shapes looking at it. Actually, it's called a mega pattern too. I'm going to show you what to do in here. More triangular shapes. Same exact thing. We're going to do the same thing. We're giving it the paradox pattern inside. I'm tracing right along the edge, landing on the other line, next line. And by doing the same pattern over and over, that's what creates different shapes. So when it's all done, you'll look at it and say, oh, I could, I see circles, I see triangles, you'll see different shapes. Hi, Jan, glad you joined us. Anyone else who has not said hello yet, please do. Would love to know if you're here, and it helps everyone feel like they're connected. And if you have a question, you're more than welcome to ask it. We're just relaxed, we're tangling together, there's no right or wrong. Just focus on each stroke. I'm going to be quiet for a couple more seconds. So as many of you know who have taken my classes, for those who haven't, I usually don't talk this much, but being that we're virtual and I am talking a little bit more, but usually in a class we are lots of time when it's just listening to nice, soft music. And I tried playing that, but it doesn't come through very well. Hi, Michelle, I see you. Hey, oh, I'm so glad you're here. See, sometimes I have to scroll up to see who else is here, so that's awesome. You can see how this is already starting to look different. I can't wait to see what you all are doing with this. And I hope you all post a picture of what you've done. And you can wait till you finish it, but you have to finish it. If you're not going to finish it, then I want to see it anyways. But I'm thinking you're all going to finish. And it's okay if you just use, if you were just using your sketchbook without the borders and the string, that's okay. I still want to see it. That's not important. So if you're on the line, hi Nancy, they look like Macintosh roses. Yeah, I don't know what a Macintosh rose is. I'll have to look that up. And if there's anyone else who hasn't said hello yet or would like to make a comment, please do so. Love to hear your comments, questions. Everyone can see your comments, so it looks like we are together. Helps with that isolation. And if you added different patterns on your tile, I still want to see it. If you did a tile today that you didn't even use any of the patterns I taught, I still want to see it. That's okay. I want to see what everyone did today. The whole purpose of Zentangle is to relax. It's not about what we draw. It's about just focusing on each stroke without focusing on the outcome and just relaxing, letting go of everything. And when we draw nice and slow, our brains start to slow down and get clearer. And then when we get mad at our boyfriends and our husbands and our children and our grandparents and our parents, we don't yell as loud because we're calm, we're relaxed, we feel good. Oh, thanks, Nancy. She's British arts and craft designer created the pattern. Ah. Now, for those of you who are not on my newsletter and you're interested in more Zentangle and being notified of classes like these or other things, all you have to do is go to my website and just put in your email address to subscribe to the newsletter. And just if you do that, just know that you still have to confirm. You'll get an email and you'll just have to confirm the subscription. That's a GoDaddy thing. I do it all through GoDaddy. Okay. Oh, hi, Sherry. I have old floor tile. Can I use one? Oh, okay. Thank you, Sherry, for that question. Because when I say tile, it is paper, and I did not clarify that. So I'm really glad you said that. However, you can use an old floor tile, yes, but this is just paper. So we call it tile. We call it a paper tile. So you can use any kind of paper at all. If you're going to get a sketchbook, it should be 100% acid free and maybe a medium to heavyweight, some good drawing paper, really. And yeah, so that's what we mean by tiles, because when we do our mosaic, we put all the pieces of paper together and it creates a mosaic, and that's why we call them tiles, and that's a Zentangle thing. So I was not clear on that. Sorry about that, Sherry. You don't have to get your old floor tiles. However, I have done classes with actual tiles, but then we have to use a special pen usually, and then we've got some of our wonderful Zentangle talented members who do their Zentangle and pottery, like Deb Murdoch and Kerry Anderson, and so they do beautiful work on pottery. It's too much work for me. Hi, Deb. I like your version better than Rick's. His seemed very tedious. Thank you, Deb. Thank you. Yep. I don't use compass things or it's funny you say that, Deb, because I like to simplify things. And when I was creating this reticular pattern, I was just thinking to myself, that's what I do. I simplify things because I like to keep things simple. I like to keep things simple. And by the way, I wasn't timing today's class because I'm not in any rush. I have no dance class to go to, no ukulele performance to go to. The only thing I am going to these days, and don't yell at me, but is the drum circles. We are continuing those. We do sit over 6 feet apart from each other. It's outside, and it's an hour. Tuesdays, Fridays, and Sundays. So as of right now, as long as they're letting us, we are doing that at the gazebo across from Sunny's in Lake Sumter Landing. You could just, some people come and they just put a blanket down and they just listen. Because drumming is just like Zentangle. It's very healing. It helps our immune system. It's another reason I like to do it, especially now. This is a good pattern to do as a group because you can get real bored fast if you keep doing this over and over as much as we are. Okay, thanks. You're welcome, Sherry. I'm so glad you're here, Sherry. I dance with Sherry, and she keeps saying, I gotta come to Zentangle, so I'm so glad you're here. And the first time I met Sherry, we were at a line dance class, and she knew every step, and I didn't know any of them, so I didn't even know who she was. I grabbed her, I said, come over here and be next to me so I can watch you. And she did. It was so nice. Then we found out we were from the same state. Okay. Anybody else like to make a comment or ask a question? I love the comments. They're awesome. Fabulous. Fabulous. Okay. So the one thing that we also do, I'll do a little shading with this as well, but I might want to revisit what Rick did for his shading. And you might want to do something different, but I will show you. And then remember, when you're done, you want to sign. Even though we put our names on the back or somewhere, we still always sign. It doesn't have to be in the bottom right. I choose to do that. It can be anywhere on your paper tile, on your Zentangle creation. And you usually do that when you're done. I just happen to do that. And it can be your initials, it can be your name, it can be any way you want to sign your piece of art, because you are officially artiste. So I'm going to show you how I would shade this, and you may shade it different, and I look forward to seeing yours. Okay. So I like to use the rule of thumb of where it goes, and kind of like where it connects going underneath. So I might just do like a little bit there, and maybe a little bit here, right there. I'm not an expert at this, so this is a funky pattern. So this is just one way that you can shade it. And then you've got these triangular ones here. What I might do here, well, I don't even know if I would shade that actually. Maybe I would just stick to these. Maybe just put a little bit in there, maybe in the corners. So you can see this pattern and you can use the remnants here. You know, it looks nothing like what we did, right? This does not look like this, right? Those look like something else, you know, Madonna's bra, right? From back in the 80s. But this, even those, you can't even see those little TP triangles in there. And that's what I believe makes this a tessellation. I believe. I have to double check that. But also you can see meta patterns in here. And let's see. Oh, good. Is anyone else getting dizzy? Yes, had to stop for a bit. Okay, sorry. Yes, if you are getting dizzy, then please stop and just relax. And you can mute too if you're tired of hearing my voice, and just read the comments. So if you look at this or look at your own, and yeah, let's do that now. Take a minute and look at your own pattern here. We did compass, which is the new pattern I created, and then we put parrot, and we used that pattern as a reticula, and then we put in paradox, the pattern paradox. Let me show you how to spell that. Paradox. Again, this is on the Facebook page. And now take a minute and just look at what you drew. And look at all the different shapes that might pop out at you. And that might determine the shading for you. If you see a certain shape, you might want to shade it to kind of accent or bring out the shape that you see. I'm seeing lots of different things. So now, before we close, I would like to ask all of you to write something, maybe one word or a couple words, doesn't matter, about how you're feeling now or how you like today's class, or just anything you want to say at all, so we can kind of get that connection from everybody. Just type it in the comments. Type anything you want. How are you feeling? How did you like today's class? You might want to share how you saw one of the staff people drop a thing of roller paper in the middle of the street, and everybody was yelling, $5, $10. That was my experience today. That really happened. So if you want to share a little anecdote, you could. It was really funny. One of the staff people by the picnic tables in Lake Sumter Square, you know, they go around, they clean. They must have been cleaning the bathrooms or refreshing, but one roll of toilet paper fell off her cart and it rolled into the street, and then people are yelling $5 as a joke. But it got me thinking, all these companies, hotels, restaurants, they must have tons and tons of toilet paper because they have it to restock all the time. So anyways. Oh, good. Well, let's see what we got here. Grateful for connection. Oh, yes, me too. Grateful, peaceful, love sharing time with other humans, calming. Love these comments. Keep them coming. Anybody else want to say anything? Maybe next, I was thinking of doing a Zoom class, but that's kind of hard because I don't know if it would work with Zentangle, where we can actually hear each other's voices, maybe even see each other. But I'll have to look into that some more. But if anyone knows of any other software program or online way to maybe do this class and actually let people talk and comment, I'd be open to learning about that. Yeah, good. All right, let's take another deep breath in. Oh, more comments here. Thanks for doing this. I took your class and then wanted to come to the Friday afternoon sessions. Yeah. Thank you for this. You're welcome. Thank you for coming. Love to learn something new. Calm and stress-free. Love Oh, nice. Love this class and create calm, fun, and beauty. Look, I did these before. Nice way to get back to tangling. Got me. Well, I guess I don't have to read them all. You can all read them too. But thanks for offering that. Thank you. Welcome. Oh, I'm so glad, Carol. Yes. I'm too busy. Hello, May. Yeah, thank you for doing it. Oh. When is next class? That's the best comment I could ever get for anything. I appreciate the sound comments. Don't need to talk. Okay, thank you, Pam. Okay, thank you. You're welcome. And yeah, I'll probably do more of these. You know, see how long we're going to be quarantined and isolated. And I was thinking of doing more of these, so I will definitely keep you posted with that. And I think that's all I was going to say. So we will do a little closing. Let's take a nice deep breath in and out. Let's just take a minute now and just close your eyes. Let everything go again. And just reflect back on what you did this past hour. Just think about it. And actually, I think I'd like you to open your eyes and take a look at your tile and turn it around and just look at your tile and really appreciate and admire what you did today.